Welcome to another chit chat with the Black Opinionated Woman. I am the Black Opinionated Woman, also known as a Bo. So today's title is called "Is the CDC causing trolling against pandemic parents?" or something along the lines of that. I forgot exactly how I titled it. Oh, come on! Are you serious right now? Yes. The trolling against against parents in this pandemic. Let's just get right into this for a second. Let me go ahead and I want to bring up what do I mean by that? This is what it means to be an internet troll, okay? A troll is a person who posts inflammatory, insincere, digressive, extraneous, or off-topic messages in an online community such as social media, Twitter, blah, 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 a news group, forum, chat rooms, or blog with the intention of provoking readers into displaying emotional responses or manipulating others' perception. Okay, where am I going with this? Now, let me just say for the record, everybody is blowing me up right now. I am not anti the CDC. I just want to say this again. I am not anti the CDC. So I think I gave you the definition of trolling, right? If you want to see that, I'll go ahead and let me see if I can pop that off to this. No, that's not the one I want to see. Let's do this way. So you guys can take a look at my screen. Now, I did a basic Wikipedia search or something like that. Now, this isn't a hard and true definition per se of what I mean by the CDC trolling us pandemic parents, but I want you guys to stick with me for a second because I'm a little bit in my feelings about some of this stuff. Let me just say for the record, I am one of those people who I do believe in getting the cootie pinch or inoculation. I don't like saying any other words because you know how YouTube goes crazy in these streets when you talk about certain things. So I'm going to call it the cootie pinch or some sort of inoculation. My whole entire family has been inoculated, from the cooties. We do wear masks and we do engage in copious hand washing. It's to the point that I feel like I should get some sort of sponsorship on some sort of a hand soap because yeah, I mean, we were washing our hands a lot anyway. I tend to buy a ton of soap, hand soap, body soap, soft soap, bar soap. Yes, for those of you who know me, I got a problem with that. I buy like 70 something bars at a time. And then I get like the hand soap. I'm sorry, I get the liquid soap too, because, I got to smell good and feel soft. And then anyway, I digress. The point I'm making is we do all that stuff. I'm all for it. But it is starting to drive me crazy. So what do I mean? Let's go ahead. Let's pull this up. Let me go ahead and pull up my other let me share this for a second. I want to pull up this other situation here from the CDC because they are driving me crazy. All right. Can you guys see this? Okay, it should be coming up. There we go. So, all right, let's see what it says. I'm looking on my iPad here. It says, okay, if you test positive, stay home for 5 days. If you have no symptoms, you can, okay, look, you guys can see for yourself. But then it says, if you were exposed to someone with, the cooties, and you have been boosted, just basically go do what you want. Go do what you want to do. No, I get it. Now, don't get me wrong, because basically what the cooties are, and we know which ones we're talking about, the pandemic cootie, it is a form of the cold. It is a virus. Now, I am not minimizing. I want everybody out there. I'm not pushing out bad information. I'm not. But this is coming off of the CDC site if you think I'm joking here. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Okay, so I'm pulling this directly from their site. Well, let me take off my hold on a second. Whoops, sorry. I need to take off this. Take that off. Let me tell you why. Anyway, so getting back to my situation here. So I pulled this from their site. If you test positive, stay home for 5 days. If you have no symptoms or your symptoms are resolved after 5 days, you can leave your house. Make sure you wear a mask. If you were exposed to somebody and you have been boosted and you've completed, or if you completed all your situation, it's like wear a mask for like 10 days, test on the 5th day. And it's like, if you've completed everything and you're not boosted, you need to stay home for 5 days. It's just, anyway, the point I'm making. Now, let me go back to my situation here. Let me take this off because I'm just, This is why I feel like we are being trolled. Number one, the CDC, I get it. The goalpost keeps moving. First, it was 10 days, then it was 5 days. But if you're vaccinated but not boosted, then you got to do this. But if you're vaccinated and boosted, but do this. But if you test positive, I'm like, oh my goodness. Just 2 minutes ago, it was stay home for 500 days. Hold on a second. Let me put my little banner up. Allegedly, you guys know where I'm going with this. It is driving me insane. It's basically like the CDC gave up. Now, I don't know if it's just because they are feeling the economic pressures, or people who are pressuring the CDC to make decisions based off of, um, I guess, economic factors. I don't know if it's just because they have a better understanding. Y'all gonna have to excuse my hair since I don't have to work. I know I'm on a struggle bus. You know what? I have a thing for that too. I am definitely. Oh, come on, my stupid computer. Where is it? I think I had a thing for struggle bus. Didn't I have a thing for struggle bus? Where is that? Oh, I don't know. I don't know where it is. There it is. I had to put that out there. I'm really excited for that. Really excited. Okay. All right. Let me take my how do I take this off? Anyway, the point I'm making is I just feel like the CDC, I don't know if it's the pressures to, oh, look at this. It's so stiff and I haven't done anything. I don't know if it's the pressures due to economics. I don't know if it's because they have a better understanding. I don't really know what's going on. But I feel like when I say that they are trolling, so basically, I mean, it's very inflammatory. If you go back to the definition, it talks about to elicit some sort of response or something like that. Go ahead, pull up the Wikipedia definition. Okay. I'm not saying it's a hard, fixed, fast, true definition, but basically, it elicits some sort of response. It's getting very emotional because I'm just kind of like, what do you want me to do now? Where am I going with this? So, first, I said the CDC is trolling me, right? Let me take this off because I know you guys are going to be like, what is she doing? Let me take off my struggle bus. Okay, so first, I feel like the definition keeps changing. Okay, so I don't know what to think. Let me tell you how this is causing pandemic trolling. Okay, with even like with the parents. Let me tell you, my daughter was the perfect example. She's like, um, I think, I'm like, what's going on? That was like a one off, but she didn't really cough, right? I'm like, okay. But then it was more like, hey, you know what? I think my throat is dry. I'm like, now does it hurt or do you just feel like it's dry or something? Because let me just say, for example, I'm one of those people with the weird sinuses. So I can tell when the room is really dry, my nose starts tingling. It's just weird. Sometimes I feel like I'm gonna get like a nosebleed or whatever. So like some people can just be really sensitive. So she's like, my throat feels. So now I'm like, what's going on? Are you ill? Do you have strep? But let me hang on in there. So then it wasn't that. Then it was like the other day, she wakes up, she's like, I'm in so much pain. My arm hurts. My leg hurts. And I'm like, well, are you growing? Like, what's going on? Are you just like sick? Are you growing? What's going on? It's like freak stuff. So what happens is because they keep changing the goalposts with the CDC, and I don't like getting into all the particulars. And the reason why I'm kind of shying away from certain things is because people start going crazy. The thing that's driving me nuts is every time they make a change, the schools, which is next, they start trolling the parents. So now all of us are going crazy because they send out these emails and they say, hey, these are the pre-screening symptoms. Basically, if you are breathing, that is a symptom. If you blink your eyes, that is a symptom. If your eyelashes and your fingernails are growing, that is a symptom. And so what happens is now I don't know what things to be concerned about. So you're constantly having a pre-screen. What's going on? So what happens is the CDC is trolling. They're invoking a response. It's very inflammatory, right? Like when they say these things, it's eliciting. It's highly inflammatory to me. I'm like, what is it now, CDC? I don't know what the next thing you know, they're going to tell everybody go outside and lick all possible nasty surfaces so we can just get it all in our systems because that's the best way to inoculate yourself. That was a joke. These are just opinions and everything is alleged. The point I'm making is that when the CDC keeps moving the goalposts, now what happens is anytime as a parent, your child has any symptom, which is basically anything. You're like, does my child have a cold? Do they have strep? Is it the flu? Is it the pandemic cootie? You don't know what it is. So now it gets even better. The schools are changing the guidelines based off of what the CDC says, and that's because what's pushed down from your local governing bodies. So now it's like everybody is trolling. And so, yes, there's a little bit of humor when I say they're trolling parents. It's really trolling everyone. Where I'm going with this is it is driving me nuts because now when it comes to children, everything is a symptom. You can wake up in a bad mood and be like, I don't feel good. You know how kids can be. And next thing you know, it's like, are you really saying that? Do you really feel that? So now it's like you got to monitor for all these symptoms, literally monitor for all these symptoms. So when my daughter started complaining the other day, people are like, oh my gosh, my arm, I like it. I'm like, is it growing pains? Is it like a thing? I mean, like, is this like a new symptom? I don't know because everything changes. When I get this, I should post what some of the emails say, the email that come out from all the schools. And keep in mind, I have kids in high school, middle school, and elementary school. So I'm getting bodied up. Like I'm taking body blows with the number of email and notifications on screening and what's going to happen in this, that, and the other. For those of you who don't know what that is what we call a talk. If you're like, as a Black person, that is a talkable moment. Hold on a second. Let me just throw this up here for a second. Let me just hold on. By the way, for those of you who are joining in, if you don't, this would be a great opportunity. What's going on with this hair situation? To subscribe to the channel. Okay. I talk about three main topics. Either something related to Black women. Well, it's women in particular, but I like to be hyper focused on Black women because I'm a Black woman and we need more representation. So it's either Black woman, Black culture, or anything to do with like being middle-aged. So that includes like parenting, health, career, etc. Okay, it's Black woman, Black culture, and middle aging. So if you like what I have to say, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Just go ahead and hit it. And I know you like it. Leave a comment. Now, let me get back on to why the CDC is causing pandemic trolling for the parents. Everything is alleged. And put my little banner back up. All right. Now, look. The school keeps changing the guidelines. Parents are like, I don't know what to do. Do I send the kid to school? Do I not send them to school? It gets better. So I call the doctor's office and I'm like, well, I'm throwing my hands up in the air and waving them like I just don't care. Like I'm feeling like a rapper or something because I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. So I'm throwing my hands in the air. Do I need to get my child, tested and screened? Because she woke up this morning and opened her eyes. She's on the right side of the grass today. So I don't want to be a parent who's lacking in responsibility, but I don't want to hyper focus on things I shouldn't be focusing on, right? Like I don't want to like overthink it because kids do get the cold. So now it's a matter of when you call the doctor's office, the doctor's office is just kind of like, I don't know what to tell you. Look, to be honest, kids are coming in here getting tested all the time. And it's not to say that they're not testing, positively for the pandemic cootie. However, but a lot of them are also testing negative because kids do get the flu, kids do get colds, kids do get strep throat, and some kids do get the pandemic cootie. It could be anything. So now that every possible anything is a symptom for anything, I'm like, well, look, my daughter one day's like, my throat's dry. I think my stomach hurts. But then she comes downstairs and she's chowing down on like a bagel, like getting it all the way in. So then I'm like, well, what's going on? No fevers, none of that stuff. Then this was classic. This morning, she wakes up and I'm like, what's going on? And I hear this ridiculous fit of coughing. I'm like, oh, she's got it. And I don't want to say what I really said because I never know what YouTube is thinking out here in these streets. So I'm like, she's got the pandemic cootie. That my daughter is trolling me. You know what she said? Oh no, I'm sorry. I was drinking some water and it went down the wrong pipe. Now here I am thinking, oh my goodness, her arm was hurting. She's sitting there. she's got the coughs and everything. I'm like, the CDC is causing the parents to be trolled. I'm like, my child has trolled me. The schools, every time they send in an email, it is eliciting a very strong response. Is very inflammatory based off of the definition that we have out there on these internet streets. The CDC definitely is driving me bonkers. And then the doctor's office kind of like, look, we can get you scheduled, but to be honest, it could be anything. Send her to school. Is she feeling fine right now? I'm like, well, yeah. Does anything hurt? No. So we don't know if she's asymptomatic. We don't know if it literally was just like a freak situation where she was just kind of like, oh, this just hurt this day. Like, I literally don't even know what to tell people at this point. I don't know if I'm overthinking it. I don't know if I'm responsible. I don't know if I'm anything. So let me go. Where am I? Let me hurry up and end this. So what happens is it causes anxiety. Like I said, you want to be a good parent. You want to be a good steward. There's all the people out there who doesn't believe that, the pandemic cootie is a thing. I'm not addressing that. You believe what you believe. I'm going to believe what I believe. Like I said, we engage in making sure that everyone here has been fully inoculated. We wear our masks, and we wash our hands. And actually, for the most part, we social distance when necessary. I mean, we're not completely hermits and everything like that. So with that being said, it does cause anxiety when you are now saying anything basically is a symptom. I'm like, you don't know. So you're constantly going to have to pull your kid out of school, quarantine your child. Let me tell you something. For those of you who do not have children, I want you to listen for a second. I mean, because I understand everybody has their issues. But when you have to care for people who are not at the legal age to make those decisions for themselves, there's anxiety on their part too, because they're like, well, do I have the so-and-so? Okay. I'm like, I don't know. So then you got kids who are like, oh, I hope I don't have it. So then you don't know if they're telling you the truth, if they're feeling well or not, because they don't want to miss school or they don't want to miss their activities, because they don't feel like they're really all that sick. They feel like, I coughed. Right? They feel like I coughed. They feel like I still want to go outside and play. It snowed last night. Okay. So now it's like, what does this mean? Do I have the cooties? Am I, you know what I mean? So it causes anxiety in the child. It causes anxiety in the parent, because like I said, when you're constantly having to, the way the guidance is set up around here, it's kind of like if you're possibly exposed to somebody, there's a certain number of days you have to quarantine at home and you have to do your work virtually. The blessing is we can do the virtual work, but I'm just kind of like the constant having to tell your child, like, okay, this week you're going to be doing work from home. Luckily, that's happened only once for my children, but there are children who've been hit 2 or 3 times and they've missed some of the fun activities at school, whatever it was they were listening to. It's a mental effect, like for some kids, out of my 4 kids, some of my kids would be like, yes, let's stay home. Some of my other kids are like, I want to go to school, especially my daughter. She's a social person. So this constant changing of what's considered a symptom, but then you have the audacity to shorten the time. I don't know what's going on. It's just so confusing. It is confusing. It seems clear, but it's not, because everything now is a symptom. Everything is a symptom. I don't know. And then like the testing. So now if everything is a symptom, but there are no tests that you can get to because all of the time slots are taken. They're all taken. You can't get anywhere. You can't get anything at the doctor. You can't get anything at all the different drugstores or whatever. Y'all gonna have to excuse this bad hair situation. This is like real. This is the reason why I come on here most of the time. I'm never done up, because I want people to see like what middle-aged women who are parents, actually middle-aged women in general, but middle-aged parents are dealing with. Not to say that we have to look busted, but I like to show you the reality. I'm not going to come on here every day faking like everything's perfect with 500 bundles of hair. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that is not the reality of everyday middle-aged people. They're not coming on here, faces beat, fingernails are like, I mean, I keep mine clean and, nice, but like That's not reality. Well, I got on some cute joggers and a little zip up and a t-shirt, but this is the reality. This is reality. Okay. And then my hair is puffy because I need to do something to it. So yeah, this is the reality. I'm going to finish tidying up my house when I get off here. And that's pretty much it. And prepare for, I'm trying to get some new furniture in the next few weeks. So, because my kids have torn up everything over these years and everything's beat down. That's a whole other issue. But yeah, anyway, I know this seems like a rant, but this CDC guidance, the changing of the time frames now, because now you're like, I don't know what to think. So everything's considered a symptom because it affects what the schools put out. So the goalpost keeps changing. What is considered a symptom keeps changing. So then what happens is parents are like, I don't know if my child should be tested. I don't know if they're sick. I don't know if it's simply a cold. I don't know if it's simply they have a runny nose. It could simply just mean they had a stomach bug. Could it have been the flu? Could it just really just be strep throat? But now, because of any symptom, you have to test if you can find one, and you have to wait. Okay? That's crazy. This is like, I feel like we're living in modern day dystopian society. It's a modern day dystopian society. That's what we're dealing with. All right. So yeah, the CDC has gotten its hee-haws at everyone. I think the CDC is frustrated. I think the CDC is having to deal with a lot of political pressures. I don't know if any of what I said is true. These are just my opinions, hence my ticker. Don't at me over some craziness, I'm just giving my opinion. But when the CDC continues to change the goalposts, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I just thought it was interesting. Um, Now you quarantine for 5 days, but if you're vaccinated, you have to quarantine. But if you've got a booster, you don't. And I got to go back and read it again because it keeps changing. I'm like, it's like a whole matrix. I swear to goodness. Like, I think I have to have a separate degree to figure out what is considered good or not good. All right. That's pretty much it. Y'all can think what you want. Let me know what your thoughts are. It is what it is. Later.